Interesting. Now I'd like to transition over to Alex. Alex, now that we've got SEO right, eyeballs are coming on the website, we're marketing through multiple channels, we're stimulating interest, we're creating curiosity, which drives more eyeballs to our website. How is AI helping us, those generated leads? How can we use AI to help convert?
I mean, one of the things that everybody mentioned, and you as well, is in time, this outreach is increasing, maybe in quality, but definitely in quantity, right? Now, the net result is when our phone rings, we no longer answer.
Yeah.
Our emails, we have stronger and stronger spam filters.
Yeah.
So I think we will go through this phase where increasing quantity will generate less inbound leads, not more inbound leads, until we find just the right level and being able to send the correct messages to people so that you do generate a response.
Yeah.
But foregoing that and getting to, okay, now a customer or a prospect is calling, what do we do?
Yeah.
And the short answer is you have to answer and talk to them, right? Now, we also talked a little bit about how all of this stuff evolved over time. 30 years ago, there were no SDRs and BDRs. You were either a sales guy or a sales engineer.
Exactly.
That's it, right? It's this salami slicing of, well, if this is really, really the top of the funnel, we will put the BDR, and then we will put the SDR, and then we'll do the account executive, and then really the sales relationship manager comes in. Has been some sort of an optimization over the years so that you can minimize the amount of salary you are paying, or per minute people talk, you get more revenues.
Yeah.
So what AI will be able to change is when the customer calls, and we actually had this experience with our customers, is sales guys say, oh, you know, how do I know it's worth my time?
Yeah.
What if the call comes just as I bit into a sandwich, and after 6 o'clock, I do not want to get any calls? The reality is AI is not going to raise any one of these objections.
No.
Now, the question becomes, is AI good enough to be able to handle that call?
Yeah.
And I think more or less we all said the same thing. Today, it's sort of good enough for certain basic tasks, but we all agree that in time, it's going to be better and better, right? And what we are seeing at 11sight is the right thing to do is to just get started, right? You need to build AI agents that fit into your existing workflows, that have integrated into your IT systems, but they definitely also need to be backed by the team. So when a customer does call for customer success, or for a prospect calls because they have a question, the right thing to do is to answer that call with an agent. If your sales guys aren't able to answer it.
Sure.
Now, the agent can answer some questions, but a properly built agent is not just going to be there to answer questions, but also to ask them. Because the agent needs to be somehow programmed to get the conversation to a desired outcome.
Yeah.
Right? Because ultimately, you do want to qualify if this is a prospect. And if that's the case, now you can figure out what your new hierarchy is. Maybe the SDR, BDRs are gone and there are only account executives, or we have promoted the SDRs to account executives. We escalate and we bring somebody in.
Yeah.
Or if this is in customer success, I mean, there was terminology of tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 support. The AI agent tries to answer whatever they can answer. And then if they cannot, then they escalate to the team members.
Okay.
So now in this context, the team members should no longer object that, oh, you know, when my phone answers, when my phone rings, I'm not going to answer. They should make an appointment.
Yeah.
So that would break this. But assuming they cooperate, companies that start with this are getting ahead. Why? because maybe today 80% of the calls of the agent need to be escalated, and they are not as accurate in doing the escalation.
Yeah.
But companies that are doing this, the biggest IP they are gathering is in the AI to human interactions. Because if you have built the agents the right way, which is not just generative AI plugged into your website with some retrieval augmented generation so that they can just talk.
Yeah.
But if you have done some work, and I mean, Mikael was also saying that you do still need to build your own strategy, your own thinking, right? AI is not quite there to build AI agents. So the AI agents still need to be built by human programmers. So there needs to be, I mean, I wouldn't want to say hierarchical chatbot, but there needs to be sort of a decision tree built into your AI agent that says if the caller is of this ilk, this is the outcome I'm going to try to generate. And that outcome may be, hey, this is a competitor. I just want to end this call.
Yeah.
Right. Or this is a vendor. I'm going to be polite. I'll take an email. I'll end the call. But if this is a real customer and I know that they have buy-in intent, I'm going to bring the account executive in, and I'm going to bring them in now. Or I don't know, we work with automotive dealerships. When somebody calls and I recognize their caller ID, they are an existing customer because I went into DMS. I know when they were here last for a service call. Yeah, I should be able to greet them with saying, hey, Bora, are you calling for your Audi?
Yeah.
Right? And last time you were here, you had 20,000 miles on your car.
Exactly.
So if you can start the conversation by showing what you know and can add value, people will be a lot more willing also to converse with the agent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And actually you're starting to answer my next question, which are what are some of the do's and don'ts about these AI agents? Because they're starting to jump in. So integrating it, making sure there's an escalation path. What are some other do's and don'ts, Alex?
I mean, Kanoj was mentioning that, you know, you cannot do AI outbound calls, but maybe, I mean, the same way with the SMS, there is the opt-in, opt-out. Maybe that will change because on the prospecting side, yeah, I understand that you do not want to get inbound calls from an AI agent because I'm not answering this call anyway. Right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if this is an existing customer and let's say we identify the problem, newer cars, actually, you can tell if the car needs service. So if I actually make an outbound call and say, hey, there is a recall on your car, would you like to make an appointment?
Yeah.
I think those type of things will still be acceptable because, and you both talked about this, is if I get that email and if it's totally irrelevant to me, it's irritating.
Yeah.
But if it just happens to be just the right thing I need, then it's not. It adds value.
Yeah.
So definitely do not use it as a spam tool.
No.
When people call you, I mean, we all have this experience of calling into some IVR system and they can't understand what they are saying, and you are going through 7 layers of menus, you are pressing 0 again and again to just get to a human being.
Yeah.
We don't want to replicate that with the AI agents,
Yeah.
right? So short term, when in doubt, escalate, but log all of those calls.
Yeah.
Figure out why is it that your AI agent had to escalate. Are there certain reasons why people are calling you? Are certain type of prospects who are asking questions? Because maybe today you are escalating 80% of the calls, but can that number go down to 70 and 50 and 40 over the course of next few years?
Yeah. Yeah.
And definitely that acceleration is going to be a lot faster than computers or AI beating chess grandmasters, which took from 50s all the way to 80s, 90s. So this is going to go a bit faster.
Well, and interesting, I know we've had conversations about this, but people are saying, you know, AI is new. you were telling me that you were looking at AI back in the 90s or 80s when you were a PhD student.
I mean, forget the PhD. When I was an undergrad at MIT, there were people who were working on AI. And I mean, one of the things Sussman used to say, one of the professors in CS is, in his definition of AI was never really going to be successful, because if it showed deterministic behavior, it had been reduced to an understood algorithm. There is nothing artificial about it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then, I mean, at Berkeley, there were again people working on it. What has happened today with generative AI is we have discovered that if you can train a program with more and more parameters, tokens, on a larger and larger corpus, internet and all the other data, and put all of this information in some vector database, the larger the corpus, the larger the parameters, the performance is better.
Sure.
But it's not quite there yet to write the next agent. Who knows? Maybe, you know, in 15 years, when enough companies like us have built these AI agents and we have data of human AI conversations, and the next set of generative AI can be trained on the conversations that our agents have done, maybe generative AI will be able to generate the agents.
Yeah.
But we are nowhere close to that, and it's all a matter of time.
Yeah. Now, one last question. Can AI agents, I mean, we're talking about AI agents in the context of sales. Can it be used in other areas of a business?
I mean, you can definitely use it in other areas of business. I mean, here today we are focused on bringing the customer in and then converting them. But in customer retention, you can look at your data. Even in sales, you can look at your data and see, and Mikhail was talking a little bit about this, is like building strategy. Where are we going to target this? Some of that could be AI churning the data that you have and giving you advice. Of course, never take that advice at face value. You need to actually make sure that it makes sense. But you could always look AI as like one more executive in your boardroom who has opinions. Now, do not allow that executive to be the guy who always is very verbose and has the personality to push his or her will through no matter what. Do have a team discussion and make the right decision, but it could be another opinion in any meeting.
Okay.